What's going on, guys? Welcome back. In this video we're going to be going over the Cayo Perico heist, where we do this with a solo stealth method. In my last video I went ahead and did it with my brother, so it was 2 players doing it. This is my solo stealth method that we're going to be using. I do make 2 mistakes that we can correct so you guys can make more money and make the mission easier. The first thing I do want to say before we go ahead and start this is that if you are a solo player or with a group of players, before you start this heist, ensure that you've topped up your snacks, ensure that you've topped up your armor, because I don't want you guys going into this heist without snacks and armor. So you'll see for our vehicle approach we went with the Koska, which is the submarine. For our infiltration point we went with drainage tunnel, so you do have to have that scoped out, as well as our entry point obviously is drainage tunnel for our compound entry point. That's the big benefit of using that, is because it's going to take us right in. And then for our escape point, I don't think this really matters, but we went ahead and chose North Dock because we completely avoid this whole escape point thing. And then we do the heist at night. I don't know why I choose night, it just feels right for doing a heist. And for our weapon loadout, we just use whatever weapon loadout you want. You should use something with an AR. I really do like the one with the new military rifle. And we don't use any support crew or anything like that. One last thing you'll have to have before is the torch. So that is one of the extra things you'll need to have, as well as I completed the armor disruption. I completed the armor disruption and the torch as our extras, so we can complete this mission a lot easier. It doesn't take that long to do these 2 missions, and it's definitely worth your time. The only way you'll be able to use this entry is if you have the torch. So if you're wondering why it's not working for you guys, it's because you did not collect the torch. So you can see very simply the heist starts off with you underneath the water with your submarine, and you get ejected in your scuba suit, and all you have to do is swim over to the entry point. This is fairly simple. All you have to do is, again, swim over there, and then it's going to ask you to press red on your D-pad and then start cutting the grid. So to cut the grid, all you have to do is hold RT or your trigger, and then spend enough time on each point that the bars will actually make a sound. You'll hear a sound. That means the bar has been cut fully and you don't have to be on there. Or as soon as they stop turning green, you're good to leave that alone. And then you can swim at that point and press right on the D-pad. If you're just swimming in that area and you're wondering why it's not working, it's because you haven't selected that entry point. You have to press right to choose the infiltration point. It will tell you in the top right hand corner of your screen, and that's super beneficial. So after that, you'll go through a little quick cutscene and you'll be spawned in here. So this is the important part. You're going to want to have silenced weapons, so you have to have silenced weapons to complete the stealth, obviously, and that will cost you $5,000. So you can see there's 2 guys up to the left talking. Make sure you see both of them before you decide to take them out, and neutralize one and then neutralize the other. And then I move over to the person that's on the right, and you'll see a person walking back and forth on the right hand side that we need to neutralize. He's wearing a red shirt here, and I wait till I'm close enough. I wait till I'm in a position where I can take him out, and make sure that no one's cone or the cameras do not see the body when you decide to neutralize them, because you do not want the cameras to see the body and then be triggered by the alarms. So you can see I pick up the key card even though it's not necessary because I'm solo. The difference between a key and a key card is that the key cards have like the white rectangle around them. The keys don't. For the solo method, you do not need the key card, as this is just not going to work because you need 2 people to use the key cards to even begin with. So as soon as you find the target that has the key, you're good to move on with the second portion of this. So you can see here I'm collecting the key off this body, and for some reason the game's glitched and I can hear them talking perfectly as if they never were neutralized. So we're going to move on to the next point. Now we have the key. So we're going to move to my part, the way I like to get into the main loot area. So you're going to have to neutralize this guy. He walks back and forth, and then there'll be a camera in the top left. And actually you can just shoot out that camera so the camera's not there. Take care of that camera and then move forward towards the gate. So that's the benefit of having the keys, because you have the gate now. So you can just run around the corner. Make sure that you're not in anyone's cones. Make sure that no one's coming around stairs. Just take your time with everything you're doing. But you'll see here I quickly move over to the right, and this could have been done way quicker. If you guys know what you're doing, this was my first time doing it solo. I was a little bit nervous, wasn't sure where everyone was going to be placed, didn't know what would and wouldn't trigger alarms. But overall, it seemed pretty simple. Once you actually got inside the building, it was pretty straightforward from here. All you have to do is steal bearer bonds. Every time you're going to have a different loot in that vault. It looks like every time you do the heist, this is where the main portion of money goes. And to get into that main area, you're going to need to hack. So hacking is fairly simple. All I have to do is line up the thumbprints to match the image on the right hand side. If you're not good at this, that is okay. Start with the top one and then literally just count from top to bottom. So if you're at 1, the first one has to be in position 1, the second one needs to be in position 2, the third one needs to be in position 3, and just work your way down until it syncs. But if you are good at that, you can just simply match them up. So once you've gone and hacked that, you'll be able to go ahead and use your torch instead of an explosion to actually get through the gate. And that's a huge difference that you get to torch, is because if you trigger an explosion, I'm pretty sure it might trigger some alarms. So that's nice to have that torch to keep everything nice and stealthy. So once you put in the code, you'll get text the code. Mine was very easy to remember, but make sure that you remember the code every single time. Mine was 38, 11, and 3. After you get the code in locked in on each thing, you'll be able to open up the vault and then get all the loot. And you'll see that when you get this loot, your loot bag is not full. And this is where I made my mistake. And honestly, it wasn't that big of a mistake. I don't really regret making this decision now that I know how much I would have made a little bit more. But you can go to the top and you can get the other key card. Now this is completely unnecessary. The only time this portion would be necessary is because sometimes upstairs you have the opportunity to get a key card with another player, but we don't have another player. But the reason is sometimes as a solo player, you'll have the opportunity to get a painting off the wall, and that painting adds up into your loot bag and fills up your loot bag, so you'll actually have more of a take. So you can see once I'm done hacking and realize I don't need to go upstairs and go back downstairs, I simply just exit the compound. So all you have to do now is find a way out of the compound. The best way to exit the compound is through the main entrance, and I was not aware of this at the time, so I ended up triggering an alarm by accident. So watch what I do here. I go up to the right hand side because I am comfortable going this way because this is the way I went last time. But all you have to do is follow the path I take. I go up the right hand side, I take out this target, and then I simply go up these stairs, eventually take out the 2 targets beside each other, and then I can leave the area. So you can see once I've reached the compound area, the security compound area, I neutralize that target walking towards me, and then I try to use this and I do not have the equipment required, which threw me off. And then I randomly shot this guy that I had no clue where he was, and that started a whole war. I had no clue that this was going to cause this. But you can see there's a yellow circle, and this is pretty much the end of the heist, and you can't lose any of your loot. Now, there's 2 things that I messed up. So the first thing is I triggered the alarm here. The second thing is that I did not go get the loot from down at the bottom of the island, where at the first time you complete the mission, it makes you scope out the 3 areas where you can get extra loot. I didn't do that, and that bumps you up about 300,000. So if you think making that trip all the way down to the end of the island is worth it for you, you guys go right ahead. And again, if you have that painting in that main room at the top of the elevator, you will not need to go down at the bottom. It will just not be worth your time, in my opinion. So overall, I end up simply running straight out to the left after you get through the gate, and then you're going to want to take out this target on the motorcycle and then use the motorcycle to get off the island. And the benefit of this is that you still have your scuba suit on, and this is fairly stealthy. You would not have to do half of this stuff with taking out all these targets after if you didn't set off the alarm like how I did. But even if you do, like I do here, it's super easy. And then I'm gonna fast forward this portion, but you don't have to swim to your destination that they give you. Do not swim to your destination, just get low to the ground, and once you feel that you're not getting targeted anymore, you will be able to swim away from the island. Just keep swimming away from the island. It'll take a little while because you're swimming and not driving, but just keep swimming away from the island, and then eventually the heist will end. And you'll see I had a potential take of 5.3 million. It wasn't that difficult. I ended up taking less than $1 million, but that's because I made a few mistakes. As well as if you bring players with you, yeah, it's nice to get that extra take for your teammates, but that means they're going to be splitting everything too. So just keep that in mind. It was really easy to do this heist, and honestly the setups and preps for these are super easy. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys want me to post videos of me completing them to show you guys how I went about doing them, and some of the tips and tricks you guys can use to maximize your money. A sub 1 million take, not the best, but again, something to look forward to for solo players, as if you make the improvements I mentioned, you'll make millions of dollars in GTA 5 Online. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.